Apparently, the former FBI Director James Comey releases a teary video calling for a Fed insurrection. You guys won't believe how out of hinge this gets.
Really confusing when I saw this video. Because I'm like, no way, this is Jim Comey. I know, like the guy who's walking around in a mankini, like setting up beach shells on the beach. Like there's no way that he puts on a little FBI director suit and records an ISIS hostage video in response to President Trump, speaks in alliterative poems, and starts to nearly break down into tears. There's no way. It's got to be AI, and I've seen AI that looks about this good. This isn't real Jim Comey doing this. No way that we've actually broken this man and he's having a massive crash out. And then we actually found it. We hunted it down, and here's the source material. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, James Comey, on his real Substack, verified, really uploaded to his 6,000 subscribers. Oh my, Jim. This video on justice. Oh. And James Comey put on a suit and a tie for no discernible reason and got in front of his lighting system. It was a ring light, clearly, and decided to make this pithy teenage girl video. Listen to this.
VAR is in grave danger right now. Trump and the hacks who lead the Department of Justice are hammering at the dam day after day, trying to turn it into just another gold leaf covered Trump subsidiary. Our best hope is that good people will stay and do what Maureen asked. Have the courage to do the right thing always. You may get fired for acting that way, but there's honor in that, and nothing but disgrace for those who don't stand up. There are going to be hard weeks in the Trump era, and this was one for my family. But there are plenty of good people still in the department committed to doing things the right way, committed to the rule of law. For them, because of them, keep the faith.
So as somebody who sits in front of a camera all day without a script, I got to tell you, there's a couple of things that bother me about this. One, let's just mute him. Let me look at his words. Watch his eyes here. You can see that he's reading from a script. See his eyes go like that? You would never see that on my program, ever. You know, I'll watch a video with you, but I don't have a script in front of me. We never have a script. We talk through stuff, but this is really cringe that it's less than 60-second video, he can't even get through it without writing himself out a little script. That's how fake these people are. And then the audacity to release this, the audacity to release something like this when your crimes have been exposed to all of the American people and was the #1 trending topic for the last 4 days, was Obamagate. Arrest Obama, arrest Comey. Because the Director of National Intelligence released demonstrable evidence of your crimes against the American people and the Republic. Him wearing this skin suit of I'm such a principled law enforcement agent, and then exonerating Hillary Clinton when she had mountains of classified information on her computer right before the election. Yeah, sure, pal.
I don't know what he was planning on doing here, who he was trying to appeal to, because number one, it's clear nobody's watching that unironically, and number two, he is reading off a script. He probably had handlers tell him, you know what, we really need to get in front of this. It could be really bad if Trump controls the narrative, which he is, so we have to say something contrary. We need to say something like Trump's bending the rule of law, he's attacking his opponents, something along those lines, just so the people who are not up to date with the situation side with us instead of Trump. When in reality, we have the cold, hard, concrete facts that Obama, Comey, Clapper, Brennan, they were all involved with trying to overthrow Trump's administration before it even started. These people should be locked up in Guantanamo Bay, if you ask me. And that's me being nice. I think they deserve a far worse fate. But you know what? I'm going to let the justice system work itself out, and I trust that these people will have to answer for their crimes because they were fighting against the will of the people. The people voted in Donald Trump in 2016, and they wanted him to represent us. And they said, you know what? That would not serve us if Trump got in, so let's do whatever we can to disrupt that.
Russia campaign against Donald Trump? Yeah, okay, you can shove it, dude. That's what the entire internet is saying, by the way. Comey is warning us that there are many in the department that needs to be fired. Yeah, this is what I find particularly interesting about this. You should charge him for insurrection. You know, he's straight up saying here that you should defy the president. Do exactly what I did, hatch a plot, and then go down in flames. This is what he says. There's honor in getting fired and doing the right thing, and dishonor in following the will of the people. They should shut down James Comey's Substack here. It's real. This is something that really happened. And I guess I'm bewildered. This guy is going to jail. Yeah. In the words of Hunter Biden, F you, there's no honor in your family. Of course, he's responding to his daughter getting fired. Comey was letting us know that there are more that need to be fired. He's giving them orders. Isn't that amazing that we've been right about this the entire time? He's in big trouble. We've been right about this, and the reason why, not for long, Trader, the reason why we were right is because when James Comey did his little 8647 assassination threat to Donald Trump, we said the reason why this is scary is because so many in the federal agencies have a touch point with Comey. How many splinter cells and black ops groups does James Comey have inside the federal government? Well, probably many, many, many hundreds. Because James Comey has been an entrenched bureaucrat that has been backstabbing and ladder climbing. How many people hired in the Secret Service or in the FBI, people that are allowed to have a gun around Trump? How many of those people answer to James Comey still? It's actually a terrifying proposition. And here in this video, you can see him giving them orders. We were right about this. So that's why, of course, James Comey should have and was brought into the Secret Service for questioning over the 8647 bombshell. Lock him up quickly. This weasel is about to leave town. Cry harder, Comey. He's going down. Dude, you're the most disgraceful federal employee ever. Shut the hell up. We got a real problem here with this Comey family. You know, they've been brought in for mop-up operations constantly. Finally, James Comey's degenerate, dumpy, droopy daughter, who's effed up every big-time government case from Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell to Diddy, was fired by the Department of Justice, thankfully. Goodness gracious. James Comey breaks silence after DOJ fires daughter. Grave danger. Yeah, grave danger is what James Comey did, which was to use the FBI to attack the Trump administration. And he admits to doing this on camera. Here is James Comey being interviewed by Nicole Wallace and straight up admitting, yeah, you know what? I took advantage of the fact that I've been an entrenched bureaucrat for 30 years and that the Trump administration was just getting started.
You look at this White House now, and it's hard to imagine two FBI agents ending up in the same room. How did that happen?
I sent them. Something I probably wouldn't have done or maybe gotten away with in a more organized investigation, a more organized administration, in the George W. Bush administration, for example, or the Obama administration. In both of those administrations, there was process. And so if the FBI wanted to send agents into the White House itself to interview a senior official, you would work through the White House counsel, and there'd be discussions and approvals and who would be there. And I thought, it's early enough, let's just send a couple guys over.
You know, interestingly enough, we had General Flynn on the program to respond to this. And General Flynn didn't pull his punches on James Comey. In fact, he said, you got to seize James Comey's passport. He's a flight risk. Very interesting conversation. But here's that part of it. I played that clip for General Flynn, and his reaction was really quite something. Here we go. Here's your name in the actual documents. This is James Comey saying that he put a mark on you and that he's planning on trying to corner you and to rip you away from President Trump and to destroy you at the National Security Council. He's also admitted to this on camera. There's a separate moment where James Comey was asked about this, and he said so. If we could just play it muted, but he basically, we don't have the time to play it. He basically says, yes, I attacked Flynn because there weren't enough protections of the new administration. I was taking advantage of a nascent Trump administration. Exactly. Now, What's your commentary on this now that it's all the guts have been ripped out and the black and white is out in the open?
Yeah, that man right there needs to go to prison. And there's a couple of others around him that were part of this coup, this attempted coup against the United States of America. We cannot have this happen in our country again. And the only way, Benny, the only way that we will not allow this to happen again for many, many years, maybe 100 years, is by holding these people accountable. And the guy that your audience is looking at right there, you know, they call him the Cardinal, James Comey, former director of the FBI, totally disgraced himself, but he participated in what is essentially the greatest crime in the history of the United States of America. So these people have got to be held to account. People are going to expect movement very quickly by this administration, by the Trump administration. We don't need years worth of investigations. All the evidence is right there. And thank God for Tulsi Gabbard.
Normally when something like this occurs, nothing ever happens to the people. They're never held to actual accounts, but I really do believe that this time is different because we have the concrete facts right in front of us. Everybody in the public can see it clear as day. When the arrests start flying, people can't say, oh, they're innocent, they did nothing wrong. You can just show them a piece of paper. This is what they did. They colluded to take down the president-elect of the United States of America. They need to be held to account because this right here is treason at its finest. There's no other way to describe it. And the reason that they attacked Michael Flynn so much is because he was not one of them. He was not just some yes man who's going to follow Obama's orders. Yes, sir, I'll do that no matter what, even if it goes against the Constitution, even if it goes against everything that he stands for. He's probably thinking to himself, you know what? These people are betraying the American people. And you know what? Donald Trump needs to hear about it. So when Donald Trump brought him in for his first term, you know he was target number one. They had to take him out because if he told Donald Trump all the stuff that was going on in the previous administration, then this day of reckoning would have been happening 8 years ago instead of just right now. Because all that Donald Trump and his administration want right now is transparency and accountability. You can't just act like some rogue bureaucrat, do whatever you want, lock up whoever you want, and just get away with it. They tried to destroy Michael Flynn, and the only reason that he actually played ball with them is because they threatened to go after his son. But as they say in the Bible, the truth shall set you free, and eventually that truth is going to come to light. You can try and suppress it for so long, but eventually that's going to become mainstream and everyone's going to know about it. And we all know the treasonous acts that these people committed. And I'm going to go so far as have a hot take. I actually do believe that James Comey will be inside a prison or a jail within 1 year at this point. And not to mention all the other people involved in this coup, like Brennan, Clapper, Obama. I don't know about Obama. That's going to be a tough one to swing, but who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. Do you think anyone from this coup will be held to account? And if so, who do you see? And yeah, if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.